Hey, Robgillt, Capetownspares, Cape Town Auto Spares. Today I'm going to chat to you a little bit about gaskets, particularly maybe the head gasket and that sort of thing. What do we do with gaskets and how do we look after them? Let's get to it. So fitting a gasket on your car, often you'll go out there, you've got to redo the engine and you buy a gasket kit, all right? Some guys might just do the head and then just go and buy a cylinder head gasket. But do you know what you're doing with the gaskets and what are they all about? Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you about gaskets, always go and buy the best quality. Don't go and buy cheap gaskets. Buying cheap gaskets is probably one of the biggest mistakes you're ever going to make, especially when you're doing something like a cylinder head and you do all the work and you come back and it's just a mess. And just remember, you cannot reuse a cylinder head gasket. You have to put a new one on. It doesn't matter if you put it on for 10 minutes, put a new one on, because what happens is the material that it's made for actually compresses when you torque the cylinder head bolts, and I hope you know how to torque the cylinder head bolts. You know there's a procedure for that, and if you don't know the procedure, please follow the specified procedure in the service manual. Service manuals are available on Google as well, and go in there, go and check it out. Okay, don't mess up with that. But what actually happens when you put the cylinder head gasket on, the material compresses, it collapses, and it seals, right? Now you take it off again because you've made a mistake and you try and put the same one back, it might not seal, okay? And you really need that to seal. There's a lot of work goes into putting a cylinder head back onto an engine. So make sure that you put a new gasket on every time. I know it's expensive, but it's important. Manifold gaskets as well, always a new one. So with the gaskets, you know you've got to put your manifold gasket in, and you've got to put it in correctly, otherwise it's going to leak water through into the manifold or something like that. Okay, be very careful with manifold gaskets. Make sure you put them in correctly. Don't gunk them up, because the gunk will get into your intake and you don't want that either. Okay, exhaust gaskets much easier. The exhaust manifold gasket, you can hoist some fire gum, some gun gum on there, seal it up, put it together, make sure it tightens, but make sure the surface is flat as well, otherwise you're always going to have that exhaust leak. Make sure there's no cracks. Flange gaskets, that sort of thing, stick them in quite nicely. All the other gaskets in the engine, like your thermostat gaskets and those sort of things, you can use a bit of gasket sealant with them, stick them in, it glues it together quite nicely. And one of the big things, like your sump gasket, depending on what it's made of, just nip the bolts up nicely so you see the gasket move slightly when you're putting it in, and then you know it's tight. Don't over tighten those things, because when you over tighten them, effectively it opens them up and oil will come through and come past them. So just nip them up so that they're just nice and tight. You'll see the gasket move, you know it's tight. Same goes for a good valve cover gasket from the old days, especially the cork ones, when you tighten it up, you just see the gasket move, you know it's tight. Right, if you over tighten them, they tend to leak terribly. That's why a lot of the tappet cover gaskets and some gaskets are always leaking. It's because of poor fitment. If you're not fitted correctly, you're always going to have this issue. So that's just a little bit about gaskets. Make sure you buy a top quality gasket. Don't buy rubbish. It's just not going to help you. It's not going to work at the end of the day. Always buy a top gasket, right? So thanks for watching, guys. Go down. You'll see there's a like button down there. Just grab the like button, give it a like, and give me a comment. Tell me what you think about everything, and hope you like the site. Don't forget to shop. Do some shopping on the site down there so we can pay for everything and pay for the videos and feed the dog and all the rest of it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and follow me on Instagram. Thanks, guys. Until next time. Chat soon.